me some ice. Skin me a peach and save the fuzz for my pillow. Poach me a prawns. Talk to me nice, you got to wine me. And I'm getting hungry. Peel me a grape.
I'm Laura Bonicelli, and we are cooking with Italian style. It's not always fast, it's not always easy, and it's not always Italian. We use the freshest and finest ingredients that we can find and afford, and we not only savor the meals we make, we savor making them. That's cooking with Italian style. Today we're making buckwheat almond flour pancakes with berry and pecan topping, a great gluten-free breakfast. Let's get cooking. I have several favorite things that I absolutely love on pancakes: nuts, berries, and maple syrup. So I decided to put them all together. I have here a cup of blueberries and a cup of raspberries. I'm just going to put those in a bowl, already washed. Set that aside. And now I've toasted a cup of pecans. That was at 350, between 5 and 6 minutes. Toasting the nuts brings out their nutty flavor, really changes it. And I'm going to give those a very rough chop. I would put all of this into a food processor, but then it would puree. And I really want that texture of the nuts, and the berries, once they get mixed in with the maple syrup, will macerate and kind of break down a little bit, but they'll still be whole enough to look like berries. Okay, this will just take a minute. Just chopping up my pecans here. So, and just a few more left. Another great thing about this is that it is so good for you. You have all of the antioxidants from the fruit. You have monounsaturated fats from the nuts, and maple syrup is just plain liquid gold. So good. Okay, let's see. And it gives it that wonderful mapley sweetness. Almost done. Okay, last of it. All right. All I'm going to do now is pour in half a cup of maple syrup, like so. You could use more if you wanted to. And then just stir it around. And while I'm making my batter and my pancakes, I'll just stir this every once in a while to just help combine it and break down some of the fruit. Okay, let's make some pancakes. Making these pancakes is just like making traditional pancakes in that you separate your liquid from your dry ingredients and then put them together. The only difference is, of course, you're not using wheat flour. So what I'm going to do is crack a single egg into a bowl and add to it 2 cups of buttermilk, which is going to give these pancakes a lovely light texture and crumb, and then a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. And that's going to be our sweetener. Okay, and I'm going to give that a nice whisk just to get everything combined. And then I'm going to set all of that aside. And now for my flours. So the first thing is, this is almond flour. And almond flour is really just ground almonds, which makes it very, very good for you. The thing you want to do with that is, when you're measuring it, make sure you pack it. It's very light, so it's like brown sugar. You need to pack it down. That's 1 cup of almond flour. And then we have 1 cup of brown rice flour, also very good for you. And then a 1/4 cup of buckwheat flour. And buckwheat flour is actually not flour at all. It's a seed that is related to the rhubarb family of all things. Also very good and nutritious. Okay, so to that then we add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, if I can get it out of here, whole tablespoon baking powder, and then a teaspoon of baking soda. And these two combined are going to make a really nice, light, fluffy pancake. And then a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then I'm going to use a whisk to mix all of my flours together and get the salt and the baking soda and powder mixed in really well. Okay, now this is the part where the wet ingredients go into the dry ingredients. So in goes my maple syrup and buttermilk and egg, and then I'm going to mix those two together really well using my whisk. And once I see that they are getting really well combined, and there's some lumps in there, but I'm going to kind of work those through, then in goes a 1/4 cup of unsalted melted butter. And that is going to add just a beautiful richness to my pancakes. So you can see this looks exactly like regular pancake batter. Now I'm going to let this sit for 15 minutes to let it stiffen up, which will make making our pancakes much easier. By the way, I said that buckwheat flour isn't a flour. It actually is a flour. It's not wheat. See you in 15 minutes. My pancake batter is nice and fluffy. Obviously, the baking powder and soda have been doing their job, and I've heated a skillet over medium-low heat. This is critical because this batter does not have gluten in it, so therefore it's more delicate than a traditional pancake batter. So you want to make sure that you don't cook too quickly. They'll start to fall apart when you flip them, so do it slowly. All right, so a little canola oil, and I'm going to just brush that on the pan. And then I'm going to do one at first just so you can see the process here. I'm going to work with smaller pancakes because they're easier to deal with. And this is 1/4 cup and right into my pan. And this batter will spread a little bit. So you just want to dollop it in and let it spread on its own. You don't have to spread it around. Just like that. Okay, so this is nice and brown and ready to flip. You can see how well set it is, just like that. Okay, perfect. Now this is going to go for another 2 minutes and it'll be done, and then we'll make some more. Okay, now we got our first pancake done, and I'm going to start working in batches of 2, a little more oil in my skillet, and again 1/4 cup of each one, just like that. And again, don't spread them out, just get the batter in there and let them spread out on their own. And I should mention, by the way, that if you're working with a pancake that is this delicate, this kind of spatula is the one to get. They're available just about anywhere, and they're nice and thin and make it so much easier. Well, we'll finish these up and then we'll plate them. So here's a stack of my light, nutty, delicate, beautiful pancakes, and I have my berry pecan maple syrup topping. I'm just going to put that right over the top. It's colorful and beautiful, and I can smell those toasted pecans. Maybe just a little more raspberry. How is that? Just beautiful. If you want this recipe and more, go to solobybonicelli.com and click on the recipe video button. I really hope you enjoy making my buckwheat and almond flour pancakes with berry pecan topping and cooking with Italian style. Buon appetito!